This is a new video. Planned Parenthood is getting very aggressive because they're at their death throes with Donald Trump, and a very likely, if not defunding, you're going to get less funding for your murderous procedures. This video came out today. It looks like all the other videos with the cartoons and the graphics. They seem like they could be some kind of a children's show, and nearly everything they say is either factually incorrect, misleading, or offensive to the intellectual sensibilities. Let's get into it.
It all started with one woman. I nursed her back to health after a horribly botched abortion. She just barely survived. Her body poisoned, her fever spiking. Before leaving my care, she asked how to prevent more unintended pregnancies.
Okay, this is important here. As we continue to dissect this video, we're going to bring up our social justice warrior / leftist lexicon. Unwanted pregnancies, there's a term they use. That really means babies we're going to abort.
Oh, I get it now.
Let's just make that clear.
Yeah.
They're not saying like unwanted pregnancies, like, oh, this is a surprise. Well, I didn't really want this pregnancy, but I'm an adult. Yeah. I'll take responsibility for my decisions. Unwanted pregnancies in this video, and according to leftists, assumes the solution of abortion.
When I got home, I decided I wouldn't rest until I was able to give women the knowledge to control birth. A woman can't be free. A woman isn't free. No, it's not quite it, is it? No woman can call herself free who does not own and control her body.
Again, back with the social justice warrior lexicon, control their body and free, I guess we can put both those, means abortion.
Dear Mrs. Margaret Sanger,
I'm a mother of 5.
8 living, 1 dead.
19 children, the baby only 20 months old. My house is brimming with hands and feet and hungry mouths.
I hope you have some information to offer.
I've spent almost all of my married life nursing and carrying babies.
I would rather die than become pregnant again. Do you have any advice?
The context here really matters because we're supposed to feel sorry for these women. They're talking about having so many mouths to feed and hands, and so they have children. I would rather die than have an unwanted pregnancy again. How do those children feel? Imagine being that woman's daughter. Imagine being that woman's son.
Well, yeah. This is all
Mom, was I a
before.
blessing? I'd rather die than have another one of you.
Oh, thanks.
Imagine if a mom said that on Facebook and their kids were their friends.
I would rather die than have another little Jared. Mom, how could you say that? I would rather die. You are my life's worst mistake, and I would abort you if I could have known. But we put in some cartoons and unnecessarily dramatic music, so we're supposed to believe that they're compassionate. Let's keep this in context. Go.
After a few changes, the organization became Planned Parenthood in 1942. The organization remained committed to serving low-income immigrant women with a sliding scale payment policy. Today, approximately 1 in 5 women in the U.S. visit Planned Parenthood, and 3/4 of those women are low income.
Low income. That's important because I know the left likes to play identity politics. There is a Holocaust of black Americans. Planned Parenthood set up deliberately in black communities. A black baby in the United States right now has about the same statistical chance of being born as they do aborted. This was by design. This was by targeting from Margaret Sanger, a noted racist. Let's see if they get to that.
Margaret worked with civil rights leaders, immigrant women, and black communities, but also aligned herself with eugenicists. Ugh. It doesn't seem to make sense. But way back in the early 20th century, eugenics was an immensely popular social movement, one with the kind of widespread legitimacy Margaret craved for her own birth control campaign. Let's make something clear. Racism and ableism do not have a place at Planned Parenthood, and sure as hell don't represent the organization's commitment to equality. Well, there's no question that Margaret left behind a conflicting legacy. It's also true that she was a champion
Okay,
of
pause.
progress.
Real quick, this is important. I love how they pivot from praising Margaret Sanger, the woman, how great she is, this sort of biography, to when it comes to eugenics, we'll get to what Margaret Sanger believed in a second, they pivot, but Planned Parenthood today does really good stuff.
Really great.
Let's just brush that all under the rug.
Skip over that.
With the word problematic. Let's just brush under the rug with problematic. Well, let's see how problematic Margaret Sanger was. These are direct quotes. We want to exterminate the Negro population. I know some of you will get mad, say, well, there's more context. We don't want word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population.
Some would argue That makes it worse.
Let's provide more context. Just to be fair, we should hire 3 or 4 colored ministers. They didn't get the memo, people of color, preferably with social service backgrounds and with engaging personalities. We don't want the word to go out that we want to exterminate the Negro population. LotterWithCreditor.com for all of these sources. Let me read some more from you as far as what she viewed. Remember, abortion, safe, legal, and rare was the mantra. Our objective is unlimited sexual gratification without the burden of unwanted children. Women must have the right to live, to love, to be lazy, to be an unmarried mother, to create, to destroy. Not as cozy as you thought. Let's go to her final quote here. As an advocate of birth control, I wish to point out that the unbalance between the birth rate and the unfit and the fit can never be rectified in the inauguration of a cradle competition between these two classes. In the matter, the example of the inferior classes, the fertility of the feeble-minded, the mentally defective, the poverty-stricken classes should not be held up for emulation. On the contrary, the most urgent problem today is how to limit and discourage the over-fertility of the mentally and physically defective. For those of you who don't know, read her writing. She saw black people as mentally and physically defective compared to white people. She saw them as inferior compared to white people. Low income, she meant black. That's why you have a statistical chance of being born, as much chance of being born as you do of being aborted as a black American baby. And here's one thing. They brush it under the rug as problematic. You are the same people whose best proof that Donald Trump is a racist, whom you will probably toplessly protest, please don't, at his inauguration, is the fact that he retweeted someone who happens to have their avatar as a cartoon frog. And you've gone out and you've protested professionally. The Oscars, the Golden Globes, Meryl Streep, Robert De Niro, racist, xenophobic. We can't allow this. He's not a legitimate president. Woman says we want to exterminate the Negro population. You just shove it aside as problematic? This is why no one respects you. This is why you're not taken seriously. Donald Trump's the racist because someone had Pepe the Frog in the avatar. The woman who literally wanted to kill blacks and was successful in murdering off millions of them. We give her a pass because she claims feminism. Next clip.
For example, early forms of birth control really didn't do the trick. And Margaret wanted something
as easy to take as an aspirin.
So, in the early 50s, she worked to secure funding for research that led to the development of the hormonal birth control pill. No big deal. It's only been called the most important scientific advance of the 20th century.
Come again, Lena? Who said it was the most important invention of the 20th century?
That was Lena Dunham.
I think it was Lena Dunham who said that.
It was her.
Because she pops them like Tic Tacs.
You said, Lena, it's like a Chinese restaurant, those mints. You're grabbing them out of a bowl at Lena Dunham's house, and they're never put to good use. When they talk about the most important invention, you're usually talking about revolutionary inventions. What do we mean by that? We mean inventions that change the way you actually live your life, that fundamentally transform progress for humanity. Birth control isn't, here's the thing, yeah, birth control, is birth control more sophisticated than previous methods? Yeah, but half a lemon wasn't as effective. A rabbit skin wrapped around your dink with sinews wasn't as effective. But the point is, they did have, using the lunar calendar, it wasn't foolproof, I'll give you that, but it wasn't like we didn't have an idea as to how to go about this. The most important invention of the 20th century? Do you have any idea what was created in the 20th century? I've got a list. Internet, personal computer, automobiles, cure for polio, ambidextrous scissors, airplanes, space travel, we landed on the moon, drinkable yogurt. It's decidedly more convenient than non-drinkable yogurt. Penicillin, nuclear energy, and literally sliced bread.
Literally let that one sink in.
Yes, literally let that one sink in.
But if women don't have access, then these kinds of innovations don't mean crap.
Again, let's go to the definition here. Let's go to our lexicon. Access means free stuff. Access means free crap. Access means you don't have to pay for your own stuff.
A few years after Roe,
Planned Parenthood and other allies
lobbied against the Hyde Amendment, which would prevent poor women from using federally funded health insurance for abortions. Hyde passed. Within a year, Rosie Jimenez, a Latina single mother, was the first woman to die because of the Hyde Amendment. Jimenez couldn't afford to pay for a safe and legal abortion without federal assistance. The cheap, illegal abortion she got killed her.
Let's keep this in context here when we're talking about Mrs. Jimenez, because they want her, again, like Margaret Sanger, they want you to think she's a hero. I don't know a whole bunch about her. She wanted to kill her baby so badly that she committed a felony. Probably not the Virgin Mary. Let's just be clear about this here. Well, we feel that she wanted to kill her baby and didn't have the money, so she went to an alley with a coat hanger and she died. Sad. Nobody's saying she should die. But they're saying here, they're trying to go on with the argument, they're trying to say that without free funding, without you paying for them, women die without having access to abortions. It's hard to find these statistics because they throw this out a lot, when the life of the mother is in danger. Well, on average, there are 670 deaths per year based on pregnancy in the United States. So that's a really small number. That's not even a percentage point. But you're talking much smaller numbers than that. 670 deaths with pregnancy per year. They could have been higher back then because we didn't have the same medical procedures. But you're talking about people usually freak accidents. For example, we have a family member who had an inverted uterus, almost lost her. You can't know. So you need to scale that number back. You need to say, okay, 670 deaths related to pregnancy complications per year. How many of those would have been predicted beforehand? Meaning they would have known in the womb that this would have resulted in the death of the mother. Not at pregnancy as a freak accident, but could predict this baby's going to kill you. We don't have those numbers. And then you have to scale it back. How many of those that they could have predicted would have been the result in a death of disavowing the doctor's advice to have an abortion? So 670 in the United States, reduced down to numbers that we don't know because the pro-abortion activists, the abortionists, don't want you to have those numbers. We can't even find them. Anyone who can help us, please let us know. Next clip.
4 months later, Faye Waddleton became the youngest president Planned Parenthood has ever had, as well as the first woman of color.
Pause. I don't think they got the memo. They said woman of color. The preferred term for Margaret Sanger is Negro.
At least on paper.
Since Roe, there have been 11 murders, dozens of attempted murders, and hundreds of death threats, plus a lot of general rudeness.
Okay, pause. First off, hundreds of death threats? Not Gay Jared gets more than that on his Twitter.
It's true.
He probably gets more than that when he walks into his men's club.
Yeah. Don't even go to YouTube.
They said, 11 murders, dozens of attempted murders, 100, and general rudeness. Here's why this is so important. How many people died in San Bernardino? Was it 12?
Like 12.
12 or 14?
12. Yeah.
We'll pull those numbers up. I think it was 12. When 12 people are killed by a terrorist attack, they try to, don't forget that there were abortion clinics that have been, abortion doctors who have been killed, throughout all of history, in all the numbers ever that you can find. Of all the things, 11. Let's call it 12. Let's say 15. There have been 15 people killed in the name of Islamic terrorism since we've started commentating on this video. So they always try to trot out some moral equivalent. Well, Christians aren't above it. Look at what's happened with people who bomb abortion clinics. By the way, if you just set your stopwatch, more people just killed in the name of Islam than all abortion clinic bombings or shootings that have ever occurred. They bring out the Westboro Baptist Church, 14 members, 2 of whom have flippers.
Yeah. They always have to bring out the fringe groups, and that's supposed to be the mainstream.
That's supposed to be the mainstream point. And even the numbers, when because they're trying to fluff up these numbers, 11 murders, dozens of attempted murders, and general rudeness. General rudeness, when you're trying to paint a group as hateful and terrorist-like, general rudeness falls at the bottom of the priority list. But it's all they had. So keep that in mind next time an actual terrorist attack occurs and they try to say, what about abortion clinics? Well, now you know. Next clip.
Abortion providers didn't stop. Nope. Those OGs started wearing bulletproof vests.
That's current Planned Parenthood president Cecile Richards. She's doubled the organization's support since 2006 and raised millions to aid Planned Parenthood's mission of providing care no matter what.
Lexicon. This is what they're saying. Let's finalize on this. Their statement just there, because they're going to be really mad when people want to defund Planned Parenthood. When they say more Planned Parenthood support providing care than ever before, what they mean to say, more Planned Parenthood support is your tax dollars, your money, your hard-earned dollar going to provide care, meaning providing abortions, meaning providing the murder of babies across this country. They are championing the cause of your tax dollars and my money being taken from my pocket to pay for abortions, all based on the concept of Margaret Sanger, who started this because she wanted to effectively exterminate the Negro population. And they are protesting because the rest of America might not want to be paying for this. And you wonder why we don't respect you. Hey, if you like this video, subscribe by clicking the button that says subscribe. If you're not aware of it now, there's no way you're learning the internet at this point. I'm not going to help you. But this was clipped from my daily show, available exclusively to lotterwithcreditor.com/mugclub members. If you're a student, military, or veteran, enter in that promo code. It's less than $6 a month, and you get daily content. No more clips, plus this hand-etched mug. Oh, when I feel it, I got a chill like on the inside.